Good morning. This is the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Wednesday, April 10th, looking at precipitation, and it's for the past 7 days. On the left-hand side, you can see that the wettest amounts have been across the northern portion of the Great Basin, especially across the higher terrain of central Idaho. The areas in yellow to orange indicate anywhere from 1.5 to 2 inches of precipitation. Much of that continues to fall as snow across the highest terrain, and rainfall amounts taper off as you head further to the south, and you can see on the right-hand side the percent of normal, driest, well below normal finally for our southern areas, but above normal precipitation continues for parts of Idaho into western Wyoming. New snowfall the past 72 hours. You see the highlighted areas in central Idaho. The oranges and reds indicate anywhere from 12 to 24 inches of snow. Lesser amounts across parts of western Wyoming, and a few inches into the Wasatch. Tapers off quite a bit. On the right-hand side, our snow cover, even though we've lost snow cover across our valley basin areas, the higher terrain areas above 7,000 feet continue to have, you can see these areas in purple, anywhere from 30 to 75 inches of snow cover, especially across the Wasatch, the Uintas, western Wyoming, mountains of central Idaho, and across the Sierra as well, and the highest peaks of Nevada. Latest satellite imagery shows another deep storm system continuing in this El Nino pattern, deepening low pressure here over Idaho. This is going to drop further south and deepen across the Utah and into Colorado over the next 36 hours, bringing more wet weather, mainly to the eastern portion of the Great Basin. Also colder temperatures with lowering snow levels, as a lot of cold air associated with this low. So looking at Wednesday, today, looking at this low pressure area, you will see the bullseye up across northwest Utah. Areas in green indicate clouds and precipitation and northerly to northwesterly wind flow. On the right hand side, the dispersion in the white, you can see excellent overall dispersion. The only limiting factor could be there could be too much surface moisture on our fuels. Left hand side indicates transport winds strong out of the northwest. Areas in the brown indicate gusts. They're actually off the charts, over 50 miles per hour. Widespread 20 to 40 mile per hour northwest winds across the Great Basin. And this is our backup mixing heights, but the more orange to red to purple colors, the higher they are. But in all areas, it'll be several thousand feet above ground level. That will not be an issue. On Thursday, that storm system pulls out from Colorado into the plain states. We continue with a moist northwesterly flow, so still lots of clouds, lots of showers. Wherever you see the green and above 6,000 feet, that'll most likely be in the form of snow. And across the dispersion index, every area in the white here indicates excellent overall dispersion. You continue to see the transport winds out of the northwest, a little bit lighter in speeds, several thousand feet vertical mixing, so no issues there. On Friday, continue with that moisture across the eastern two-thirds of the Great Basin with leftover clouds, unsettled, showery weather, unseasonably cool, excellent overall dispersion again. And on Friday, we continue with a northwest wind flow, more on the scale of 10 to 20 miles per hour, but everyone gets good wind flow, good overall dispersion. If we total up the 3-day precipitation today through Friday night, you can see the heaviest amounts here in the light blue to purple shades, indicating 1 inch to 2 inches of precipitation across the higher terrain of Utah into the Uintas. Slightly lesser amounts as you head further north. A lot of this here in Utah will be in the form of snow, 1 to 2 feet of additional snow on an already above normal snowpack. Going further down the road into Saturday, leftover moisture over Utah, starting to dry out across the western Great Basin, western Nevada, in response to high pressure building in across the west coast. On the right-hand side, areas in white to yellow indicate excellent overall dispersion. Wind flow having a less of a northerly component, more of a westerly component. That'll continue again on Sunday. There is a deepening low pressure area starting to move out of the Gulf of Alaska, and also ahead of it a disturbance pushing into Idaho and maybe far northern Utah and into western Wyoming with more showers. And on Monday, that moisture plume deepens continues across Idaho and western Wyoming, a very wet pattern Sunday and Monday. That moisture drops further south into northern Nevada and Utah. Excellent dispersion again. And then by Tuesday, this trough low pressure deepens and the moisture deepens and sags further south into much of Utah. So again, the Great Basin stays unseasonably cool and unseasonably moist throughout the next 7 days. Additional precipitation. This is just days 4 and 5 continuing across parts of Idaho, but this heavier precipitation here in the Pacific Northwest is what will push through in days 6 and 7. And how about beyond that? The 8 to 14 day outlook, taking us from April 17th through the 23rd, indicates near normal temperature, near normal precipitation, although slightly wetter than normal signal across the eastern portion of the Great Basin. So just a slow drying across western areas, but eastern areas still staying moist and probably not drying out enough to burn in earnest just yet. We'll see how that plays out. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.